Okay, now it's time to start. 7 o'clock, 7 a.m. for me, and for you, different times, different time zones. First of all, nice to meet you, all of you. I'm Pedro Marcelino. I'm talking from Brazil, and in the next minutes, I will share with you some feedback, some ideas about how to work properly with Japanese animation and how to approach this path in the process of become a better drawing artist and a better animator. So, if you want to talk a little bit about yourself or about anything, feel free to ask. Okay, guys. About myself, I've started work with comics, with illustration in 90, 98. So it's a long time ago. And with animation, almost 10 years after, I decided to start to work with animation in 2009. And at first, it was a little bit complicated. As you know, it's difficult to study animation, to find a mentor. And in the beginning, I was just with the books, animation survival kit, and stuff like that. And in that time, study Japanese animation was not impossible, but outside Japan, it was very, very difficult because you didn't have good courses how to study Japanese animation online, available online. So I started work for Westerner companies, doing more cartoonish things, more Westerner thing, until 2020. 2020, I had the opportunity, the most important opportunity to change this, and I started to work for a Japanese company. At the beginning, I was animation assistant, and after 1 year and a half, I was working as a animation director because my background with more than 15 years working with animation gave me the ability to go in the process very fast because one of our aims or goals in this training program is to share with you in the Japanese animation, you will learn how to use your potential, how to use your skills that you have these skills because you are already working with animation or studying animation, and how to adjust, how to tune it to work in the process, in the methodology, in the techniques of Japanese animation. It's not so complicated. The process to start to work with Japanese animation and to have good opportunities is almost the same to work with Western studios. In some cases, is easier because you have one specific method that all studios are working. And in the Westerner approach, you have different softwares, different approaches, different techniques for every studio. So it's very, very tricky and very complicated. So from this, I started to work as assistant animator, concept artist, and after that, I started to have the first experience in the Japanese animation as a animation director. After that, episode director, producer, and since that, I've been working with many different clients. I started to work with Maru in a very good project, and as I was teaching at university, at first in 2012 or 2015, I guess, um, I was teaching drawing and after animation. My journey in the animation projects and the animation studios is always looking for a way to train new animators. Mar is very aware of that, and everyone that is leading projects is aware of that. You should train people to work with you because it's very difficult to have good people, trustable people working with you. And some people are very talented. Talent is one of the words that means everything before you study properly animation, and after is just a general word. You may have talent, you may not have talent. Knowledge, training, time, over time process is more important than talent, because sometimes people are just relying on talent and they don't have the soft skills to deal with clients like animation companies, or they don't have the patience and the other skills to deal with the animation training online, because we are talking about the animation training online, not going to Japan, but training from your own country. And yes, right now I'm working with Mar in the HP, this project, animation training program. And I'm working as well for a Japanese studio, Kujira Studio. And in this studio, I'm doing many things as layout animation, Genga, and um, character design, stuff like that. So I'm very involved, and I want to share these details and the right path to become a better animator. Okay, Mar, you want to talk?
So nice meeting you. I am Mar, and as Pedro hinted around, or you may know, I founded Mar Exposito, which is an animation in Tokyo, where I'm in my home. Lots of other people are also in their home. It's just a teleworking studio where we get projects that need to look like animation. And because I've only been trained on how to animate in the anime style, um, that's what I can do. So I gather people who's same or more talented than me in their specific roles, and we do animation, again in the anime style. And somehow I was just so absorbed in Pedro's speech that I forgot I had to talk. So sorry if I feel a bit discomposed. I started working at 7 a.m., haven't thought it through, and now it's 7 p.m. So I did take a break in the afternoon, but I never mind me today. Pedro is a great instructor. As you just learned, he has a ton of experience, and I just hope that you will be happy to learn from him and get some corrections on your work that will help you grow as an artist. And I really hope that, well, that you will like this program, because I really believe in what we're working. I mean, I've seen the content and the assignments that are coming, and I can tell you there are those things that maybe you don't feel like doing, but if you do them, you'll be so much better. Like you may feel lazy, you may feel excited of each assignment, but you'll learn so much. We'll make you learn. We're learning. Everyone's learning. Like as a teacher, yourself, as just Pedro mentioned, like as you work in the industry, just about it's more practice. It's just more being there and learning yourself. So we, the instructors, don't know everything either. Yeah, I should have prepared what to say today, but I hope that was useful. I'll give it to Pedro again and hope that today will be very nice. I mean, it started really well, so I know it will.
Thank you, Mar. Yeah, one important thing to talk to you is about the idea of the cycles. Is before the corrections is something very important. Cycles is a different way to approach a training. For example, when you are learning about history or learning about maths, you are relying more on knowledge and memory. and you start to see, to watch videos on YouTube and to read the books. And after that, you have information, and you should recall this information to do a test or to remember numbers or to remember things. And this cognitive process is a very rational and very based on memory. And most of our school time is to develop these specific skills, to memory, to recognize, and to recall this information, to do a test or to talk in front of others, to explain things, more theory things. And when we start to study animation, to study Japanese animation or animation in general, we start to watch videos and to read books again. And our preoccupation with that is to recall this information, to memorize these things. But animation, the process of our brain, our cognitive process is the other way around. You should expose your body, expose your mind to train properly, to develop skills. So to draw animation is more like dance, is more like sing, is more like to speak foreigner language. You are using other part of your brain. But this part of your brain is not just one time you understand, that's the 12 principles. I know these 12 principles. I can memorize these 12 principles. Or I can see, I can recognize, and I can explain to everyone what's the difference between Genga, Toga, or what's the history behind the layout process in Japan. This information will not change your level as an animator. Watch ton of videos of Japanese animation, know the names of the big artists, Yoshinari or Hayao Miyazaki, Isao Takahata, will not change your level. Read the books will not change your level. You should expose yourself at training like a sportman. When a people is in sports, they will develop muscles. They will training again and again a very specific area. If they are playing soccer, they will train a lot the legs muscles every day. They will run, jump, train with weights, and come back in the fundamentals again and again. The name of this in Japanese is kihon. All martial arts, all training, you should start with kihon. Kihon are not the most basic. Kihon are the fundamentals, the base of something. And you will come back because always you learn something from this. So the first cycle, the second cycle, the third cycle are the same. The content are the same. You will learn how to draw. You will learn about colors, how to paint. You will learning about animation and about storyboards. Four main topics. But in the first cycle, you will learn the basics, the fundamentals. The second, the things that are not considered the most basic things, more advanced. And these two levels for me are very, how can I say, are very useful, because in the daily job is like that. You have simple things and you have a little bit more complicated things. There isn't for me completely difficult things. After some years of animation, everything is, oh, it's simple or it's not simple. So these two levels are, the first thing is the basics, the 12 principles, the difference in between gesture drawing versus constructive drawing, or geometrical drawing, um, how to apply the 12 principles, how to split the 12 principles. That's the first cycle. The second cycle is how to draw hair in the Japanese animation, how to draw clothes in the Japanese animation, the importance of facial expressions, hands gesture, body gesture. That's are very tricky things and very, very specific of Japanese animation. And the third one is how to do a layout. What's the difference in between the layout, the first step, and the storyboard before this step? In Japanese is ekonte. Ekonte, layout, and after that, how to tie down this layout, or how to do second key, genga, how to clean a little bit this drawing. What's the difference between, for example, the regular tie down that the Europe studios are doing and the second key? After that, you move from genga to doga, to shiage, the phase in the Japanese methodology. So that's the third cycle. You are dealing with the same topics: drawing, painting or coloring, animation, and storyboard. But you are going deeper. And you will come back again after and to revise, to re-study through exercise, not through contents. You will not read the text and article about Japanese animation. You do exercise. And you will first do this exercise, and we will have a meeting like that, a call like that, to revise, to correct, like in the daily, um, um, everyday working on animation is like that. You will talk with your supervisor, or you will receive the corrections, and you will work from that. After you do something, before doing something, it's just theory. It means nothing for us. Okay? If you have any question, please ask for me. Let me check the chat. Okay, let's go to the corrections. Can you see my screen? It's perfect. Let's start with Joseph drawing, Joseph animation. Hi, Joseph. I will see some. I will talk about your project and doing some feedback and some corrections. But I want to talk about very generic, very common things to everyone. So let me start with one of that. One is the importance of gesture, gesture drawing, and structure, and design. Some Japanese animators are mixturing these two phases. So the rough of them is part gesture, is part structure, or they have the core of the character, the core of the environment, and they are mixturing. The gesture in drawing is something very, very flow. It's like that. It's very simple. You can, for example, work a very big brush and try to use curves to block with these curves expressions, simple muscles. And the time for that is sometimes is 20 seconds, sometimes is 1 minute. It's just to have gesture.
Ah,
You have the, hi Joseph,
hello.
hello. You just have that. This is very important for us to train. And after that, you go to a second layer to work with the constructive drawing. As I said before, some people do this at the same time. Meanwhile, they are working with the gesture, they are doing this, starting to create this more geometrical, more technical stuff.
Mm.
In the past, not so in Japan, but more in the West, they used to doing a layer about muscles to create a little bit the muscles of the characters. But nowadays we know that only with only when the character will appear with the muscles. For example, if you are working for the gaming industry or with an anime based on a game like Street Fighter, you should do this pass, more one pass, to define the muscles, to define the bones. And in this case, we are not working with this style. So a basic structure, the chest, the hip cage, the knees, the head, just this is important. Okay? And after these two, gesturing, structure, we will work with a third one, that's the design. Here we have Yoshinari work. Design is to choose what I should draw or not. For example, here you have a lot of muscles. These muscles are connecting with the triceps, but the artist choose not to draw all of these muscles, just this line and this line, and this very thin line. This choose of which line should I draw or not, and the way more geometrical, more curved, that's design. And the artist are developing his own way to do that. In the roughs from Yoshinari, you will see a lot of this. The way to do the muscles, the way to do the fingers, and that's all of these are designed. How to draw the back muscles. The back muscles are a lot of muscles. So in this character, how to approach that. Should I, for example, in this case, use just one line? Or should I break these lines? So these parts are very important for us to develop a sense of these parts. About the principles, um, I can't say anything about our projects. I can see principles of animation. I can see uh, the pipeline, the Japanese pipeline. You are using the terms A cell, B cell, D cell, book, how to organize the timeline. All of these are very good. I wanna just comment about this process. For example, I can see the style of the characters. They are very simple. They are very cartoonish, and we have a lot of animation films in Japan with this style. We have Doraemon. We have a lot of them. Uh, my neighbor Yamada from Studio Ghibli. So the cartoonish is very okay. It's very good. I just want to comment about this process to build up first a structure. So my recommendation, my feedback for you, Joseph, is to build up this from reference, for example, how to, in this case, how to put more weight in the character from the changing the balance of the hips, putting a little bit of perspective. Here, the hips as well. The balance line is like that. You are putting your weight more in this direction. Another thing is to put your character more in an asymmetrical versus symmetrical pose. Here, I don't know if you did before a storyboard, a conte, or if you copy this from a manga. So I'm just talking about what I can see here. So here you can, for example, um, change a little bit the hips and the chest. Mm, in this case, we can put together the legs. Um, the balance line we can put here. To help us to understand. Coming from the top of the head. And here from the gesture drawing, you will have this curve. One arm can be different from the other. The expression is good. Everything's good. Just the symmetrical part. Could be symmetrical, yes, there's no problem. But if we put more asymmetrical, we will change the appeal of the pose. For example, the character could be the guy here with the hand like this. One leg could be different from the other. changing the weight, changing the hand. We change a lot of the poses. It's the same with the girl. So my comment, my feedback for you is not a lot of the animation or the in between, the timing of the pose. Is more about the construction. Okay, to use more the hips, to use more the asymmetrical approach, to change a little bit the pose and to increase the appeal of the scene. Okay, Joseph?
Got it.
And I saw your images as well. Your illustrations are very cute. The style is very appealing. I was analyzing just this thing. One other comment for you, Joseph, is to think about the hands, the feet, and the specific parts as individual elements. For example, you have the general gesture, the posing. In the 3D animation, we call this posing. You are adjusting the pose of your animation as the main poses are shown like a poster, like a movie poster. And in this case, you are thinking about the general composition, the general body. But after some time, you may think about this hand. There is a way, for example, to change the appeal, to change the hands, to do something more appealing, or to take a picture of yourself holding a stuff like that, just to check if there is a way to change the appealing. So I'm talking about this hand and the other hand. May I hold this in a different way? These things are very important to think about this. The curved versus the straight. Here would be a little bit more without curves. Here it's curved. Can we change the gesture? Put this leg straight. So this layer, the yellow one, is the second correction. After some time working with my illustration or my animation, I'm resting a little bit, changing my brain, watching something, reading a book, or just going for a walk for 1 hour. And after that, I will come back and I will check my drawing as I like I'm my own second. I'm revising, I'm correction my stuff. So I'm creating this yellow line, this yellow layer, and working just to check my art and just to find a way to increase the appeal, to make the design better. Okay. So in this case, I like the general appeal. I like the design of the characters. But in this case, I want to change a little bit the construction, trying to find different designs for the hands, for the feet, for the shoes. For example, this back one. Here is construction. I have the basic construction, the lines of the ground. So I change it a little bit. The design, I will start to work with the design of the shoes. Here, the approach for the Japanese animation is different from the Westerner. When I'm working with Japanese animation, the shoes, the clothes are always realistic ones. So I may take a picture of my shoes or try to find a reference on internet about specific shoes. This Nike model sneakers are very okay. I want to put this Nike or Adidas. I don't know the other brand, but trying to find because the details here will change a lot if you change the model of the sneakers. So you have the structure. After that, you have the construction plus the design. And the design, as we are talking about costume design, is related with a real one, not just for imagination. In the Westerner cartoons, we are always working with generic shoes, generic clothes. And when you see a very good illustrator, there is this book from Japan that I like. This book, this illustration book is very good. And there is a lot of illustrations from Japan. Every year they are creating this book with different illustrations and different illustrators. And you will see a lot of this design process, the costume design process. Okay, Joseph.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to the next. Agostina.
Hi there, it's me.
Hi.
Yes, structure. I was struggling with that. That's why I sent this one, even though it's not finished, because I thought I'm gonna use this opportunity to get this drawing better.
I can see the style, the appeal of the cats, of the character is very good, the appeal. I just have a comment about the structure related with the shoulders, the leg distributions. It's like the Joseph comment. If you are changing, here is asymmetrical. For a more symmetrical, you can do this. There's a way to work with symmetrical pose when we are trying to find an emotion or expression, more content, or more introvert stuff. You are working with this, with symmetrical pose. But in your case, my recommendation is to maintain this leg pose, to work a little bit in this leg pose, and to adjust the shoulders. Because your head is out of the structure. Okay, if you see the neck is a little bit for the side. So to come back with this, to change the legs, to adjust the balance, the weight distribution in the shoulders and in the hips, like this.
Yep.
This contrast will express a little bit more than the symmetrical one. And with the lines and the style, it's very good. The hands are very good. The pose, I like it, the pose. The line as well, the cat is pretty. The expression, everything's good. From my perception, is more related with the structure.
The structure, yes. Yes, I
Most
was
of the
about.
time.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, you can
No, I
go
was
ahead.
about to do the line art, and I realized that it wasn't working. So I tried to fix it, and I couldn't find exactly, the key. And suddenly you draw 3 lines, and it's there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
When we are working with animation and illustration, Agustina, we are with an image in our mind and want to share. We want to put this on paper. So you put the image on the paper. After put this, if you are working with animation or manga, you will rest a little bit your eyes and come back as a corrector, as a director. And in this case, start trying to find the balance between the gesture, and the gesture are always curved lines, very fast lines. For example, here's a way to change the gesture, something like that. More exaggerated. And you can do thumbnails with the gesture. No, the gesture is okay, for example. So I go for the structure. After that, for the design decisions of your line work are very good. Very, very good. So you jump it for the third step. Now you should come back for the second and for the first one. It's very okay because you are creating for yourself. You are working with expression. Even though you are working for other studios at the same time, for example, you should remember about that. Sometimes we are very comfortable working with Japanese animation because they have very good correctors. So sometimes we are doing layout or doing the first step of the animation without structure, without gesture drawing, because we are relying on the directors. But if we are doing this, there is no way to change our level because they will see and think about, no, this is not okay. This is so simple. How this animator will become a Sakan if the drawings are like that, you know? So when you are sharing, it's not your case, but if you are working for a project, you should think about your director. Is Agustina ready to work as a director? Yes, her work is very consistent. I can see, I can feel the gesture drawing. I can see the construction, the basic anatomy, and I can see the design decisions. In this case, is based on your style. In the work, for example, for another company, is based on the style of the character setting. Okay? I can see in your work and Joseph's work a lot of knowledge, experience with animation is very good. It's just these tiny details to improve. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Agustina. Next one here is Alice animation. A very important part of the animation, together with the construction, is the arcs. So my correction is just for one frame, Alice, about the head construction, the volume. One thing that I'm doing always is this part of the head, here we have this part of the head is the most important mass of the head. So the ball of the head, I will keep using this because I can change the angles. Okay, and after that, I will put the jaw. So when you are turning the character in different angles, this ball will not change. The volume, the ball will not change. Just when the character is going for the camera or is going for the background. Now I changed the volume of the head, the ball of the head. So in this case, there is no camera changing, just turning the head. So I've adjusted the ball in a different layer. And the size of the ball here is the same of the more important frame, the 6, the keyframe. So the volume of this, I adjusted. And after that, I created this motion path in the nose. It's not always the nose, could be another part of the body, but in the head turn is almost every time is the nose. You are trying to create a path, a line, a curved line like that. If I'm doing this, this line is like that. If I'm doing this, I'm changing the line of the nose and create this motion path. And I'm working with easy in, easy out as well. In this case, you could change for something like that. You are decreasing the time, so it's easy out. You started very fast and you are changing the time and doing like this. You could start you started very slow, but you could start it very fast, moving like this, moving fast, no, moving very slow and fast, slowly fast, connecting with another movement. So the pace of the movement is very important to think about the motion path. In the motion path, you are creating this with a path for the nose or for the hair and trying to adjust the arc. Just one frame is out of the arc. This is the framing, the tree, frame 3. This frame 3, the head is without the proper mass, the proper volume, is changing volume, is changing consistency, and the nose is not following the motion path. The other one, okay, just a second. This other one, there is no problem, Alice. It's just the hand gesture that could be like this and not so symmetrical like this. The symmetry of the hands is a little bit discomfort. So something like this would change a little bit the expression, but the time, everything is good. Okay, so take care of your structure, the head structure, and about the motion path. And the hand and the gesture of the specific parts, like the hands. You should think about the expression and the pose of each frame, and try to avoid symmetry and choosing asymmetry, different parts of the hands, the fingers. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Liz. It's here is Nita. Hi, Nita.
Hello,
Hel-
how are
Hello,
you?
Nita.
Hi, I'm from Kosovo.
Fine. Nice to meet you.
Hola.
I was checking your work, your Behance, and something that I can see is very there is a lot of expression, colors, volume. These things are very appealing. Something that I want to talk in your work here is your approach is to do something very geometrical, very simple. And in this case, most of the time we are choosing move the parts of the character. The name of that is cutout or puppet animation. We can do this on Clip Studio or on Toon or in another software. Even though in the Japanese animation they are working with this very simple style, they are trying to avoid this and to draw each frame and moving a little bit the parts. So if the character is moving just the arm or the hand, they are moving the shoulder and changing a little bit the part of the body to not be so robotic, just the part. So my comment, Nita, for you is to work more a traditional approach, even though you are doing a very simple style. There is this Japanese animation, Gritsuko. It's quite famous. Um, have you ever watched this, Agritsuko?
Ah,
Or
a great. Oh,
yeah, or
I like.
Doraemon? Both of them are very simple, and they are using the traditional approach for each frame, drawing everything, starting with the keyframes, and after doing the in between. So my comment for you is just that try to choose another approach for your drawing, even though he's simple. When you are working with a Japanese animation, it's good to start with more realistic styles because most of the time you will do more human characters in the anime style. And cartoonish things are not so common in Japan as you have in the West. Okay,
Yeah, I understand. I've always liked, if I may say something.
you can say.
Yeah, I've always been more of a fan of the Asian style of animation, but then I went to university in Hungary, and there it was very much discouraged to do the anime style. Like, we were kind of forced to lean towards either cartoonish or more realistic animation, so my style has kind of deviated from anime. And also, most of the commissions and movies that I've worked on haven't had an anime style, so I think, like, over time, I've kind of, like, deviated from it.
Yeah, I agree, Nita. It's the same in South America as well. The university and the studios are not helping the animators to try to work with Japanese animation because in the past it was almost impossible to work with Japanese animation without from another country that's not Japan or an Asian country. It was very complicated in the past, but right now it's changing. So you can choose to use more Japanese animation, but the universities and the studios are not accepting, sometimes they are not accepting this changing, and they keep doing these feedbacks for the students.
Okay, thank you for your feedback.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Pedro, for the corrections. I learned so many things, honestly. Today was a bit scattered, obviously, because we just asked you to just show us what you want us to check on, like, see that. But obviously, lessons will be more structured and have their own assignments and everything. And going back to Pedro, because he's much more inspirational than me today.
Just the last thing is this Hokusai quote for me is something very inspirational, because we are thinking about animation and think about the end of the study, like a doctor or something like that, because we've trained this on school. You will learn something, and after that you already know. But animation is like sports, art is like sports. So this quote from Hokusai shows that he's learning from the age of 6 until the end of his life, always trying to learn more about the fundamentals, more about the Kihon, and coming back to the simple things. How to do a better gesture drawing, how to choose a construction more efficient, how to find a design decision that will share more my emotion, share more, put more expression on my characters. So that's very important for me. Is this constant training of your body and your mind during your process as animator. So I'm teaching you. I've working with training for animators for right now more than 10 years, and I'm always changing myself to become a student. So the most important thing is to be always a student, trying to learn with your directors, with your colleagues, with the new artists. I'm older now than the past, but I'm trying to learn with the younger ones. They are putting different things, different emotions, different expressions in the animation. So I'm looking for this and trying to change my animation based on the real time. That's my final message. Thank you so much, guys, for your amazing work, for your time. And that's our first trial lesson. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Have a good evening. Have a good day.